Hello, Paradise Panther artists. This is Mrs. Telfer. Ohayo gozaimasu, which translates to good morning in Japanese. Today, we will be learning about our next master artist, Katsushika Hokusai. He was born in 1760 in what is now the city of Tokyo, Japan. He was a Japanese artist, painter, and printmaker who is best known for his 36 views of Mount Fuji. So let's get started. Haji mimashou. How many names do you have? I bet many of us have 3 names. A first name, a middle name, and a last name. If you have a nickname, perhaps then you could add one more to make a total of 4. Since most of us have 3 or 4 names throughout our lives, you will be surprised to know that our master artist kept changing his name throughout his life. I bet you are wondering, how many names did he have? He had 30 names, and no one knows why. Perhaps he liked new things, or maybe he wanted to draw attention to himself. The one name he kept longer than most was Hokusai, which means Northern Star. Not only did he keep changing his name, he also kept changing where he lived. One of the names he chose means tired of living in the same house. Do you think he moved 30 times? He actually moved nearly 100 times during his lifetime. Here is Hokusai's self-portrait as an older man, but he started very young as an artist. When Hokusai was first given a brush to write with in Japan, he immediately started drawing everything he saw. He would draw on anything he could find. He drew on scraps of paper, on rocks, and even on wood. He even used the whiskers of a mouse as a tiny paintbrush. His family was very poor, and custom was that only a rich prince was permitted to be an artist. Hokusai was far from being a prince. It took money to go to the special schools to learn brush painting. It took money to buy the special stamps needed to sign your work. Where would Hokusai get that kind of money? Hokusai was determined to be an artist, so he worked anywhere he could and saved every bit of money he earned. He even starved himself to pay for his school bills. As soon as possible, he started selling his artwork to support himself. He drew pictures for calendars. He wrote scary stories and drew pictures for them. Hokusai even drew and wrote hundreds of little comic books. Now, let's find out, where did Hokusai live? Go ahead and see if you can point to Japan on the map. Is it an island surrounded by water? Yes, it is. Hokusai liked to paint the ocean and the fishing boats in a very surprising way. Is this the biggest wave you've ever seen? That is why this painting is called The Great Wave. Would you like to be here in a boat? Maybe, maybe not. How many boats can you find? Go ahead and point to them. I found 3 boats. Can you make your hand curve like the great wave? Does the wave look like it is moving? Yes. Can you make the tips of your fingers move like the wave? Go ahead, wiggle your fingers. Now, go ahead and look in the background. What shape do you see in the background? Yes, the top of the mountain is shaped like a triangle. Hokusai mostly painted beautiful pictures of his country of Japan, like you see here. He painted the ocean, the rivers, and the mountains. He is most famous for these Japanese landscapes. Does the Great Wave picture look a little bit different here? Yes, that's because these are funny versions done by other artists. This is not only Hokusai's most famous artwork, but it's the most recognized of all Japanese art. Do you have a favorite one you see here? Now, let's return to the real art of our master artists. What will you see? Water or mountains? Let's find out. We see Mount Fuji in the background, surrounded by white, fluffy clouds. What big shape do you see in the front or the foreground? Yes, we see a pine tree. Now, look carefully at the base of the tree and tell me what you see. Do you see 3 little men? What does it look like they are doing? It looks like they are trying to climb the tree. Do you think they will be successful? Probably not. Does that give you a feeling of how giant the tree is? Yes, it does. Do you remember that as a small child, Hokusai learned to write with a brush? Well, after he could paint his letters well, this is what he was taught to paint next. This is a painting of a bamboo plant. Did you know bamboo grew as a plant? When Hokusai studied art, bamboo is what he painted for practice. He was taught a special brush stroke for each part of the plant. Let's take a closer look at these special brush strokes. First, there is a special brush stroke for the stalk. Notice how the stalk of the plant is in sections. The artist has to stop his brush to show each section. And painting is always done on a flat surface, like the floor or a table, but never at an easel. A desk or a table will be just right for your own bamboo painting. Next, let's look at the thin branches and pointed leaves. Branches only grow from the joints that connect each section, and they alternate from side to side. To get the leaves pointed and graceful looking, a special stroke is learned. Do you notice, are some of the leaves darker than others? Yes, they are. The artist used black ink for his color. The amount of water mixed with black creates different shades. Once students learn to master painting with black ink, then they can start using colors. For Asian people, the bamboo plant is more than just a pretty thing to paint. It is an important part of their lives. It is used to build their houses and furniture, and also for food. Isn't it special that something so pretty can be so useful? You are going to be an artist just like Hokusai and learn to paint a beautiful bamboo plant. Which of your names will you use to sign your artwork? Hokusai signed his 30 different names to his paintings. Maybe you might choose another name as an artist, just like Hokusai. The meaning of Hokusai's last name was old man crazy about art. Let's have some fun now with what you've learned about Hokusai's Asian art. Have you ever seen an Asian person bow at their waist with their palms together? It is a polite thing to do in many different situations. To say hello or goodbye to someone, they bow. Now, you will use that bow to answer my questions. If my sentence is true, you will bow. If my sentence is false or not true, then you remain standing and do not bow. Go ahead and stand up where you are. Here we go. Did Hokusai live in Germany? No, that's false, so we don't bow. Did he come from a poor family? Yes, go ahead and bow. As a child, did he paint on rocks? Yes, you should bow. As a young man, did he draw pictures for calendars? Yes, go ahead and bow. Did he have only 3 names? No, we don't bow. Did he paint many, many landscapes? Yes. Go ahead and bow. Did Hokusai learn by painting bamboo plants? Yes. Go ahead and bow. Do you paint all parts of the bamboo with the same brushstrokes? No. Is bamboo a heavy, thick plant? No. Is Hokusai's most famous painting The Great Wave? Yes. Let's take our final bow. You really showed you learned a lot today. Great job. Soon you will get to try bamboo painting. For your art activity, you will be Asian artists and do a beautiful bamboo branch with special brushstrokes. I will see you next time, Paradise Panther artists. Sayonara!